beam there that I've just taken down, it looks like it's oak or chestnut, and it's pretty much 5 meters long, so you don't often get those. So I'm tempted to leave that as is. Doesn't look like there's a lot of worm on it. Might be able to reuse that. And it's heavy. So what we've done is taking down all of the logs that had been supporting that first mezzanine level. So you can see that there's a joist at the wall level, which goes into the wall at either end and is supported in the middle, 2 places with stones coming out of the wall. Then all of the logs that have been cut down have been split into 2 piles. Stuff for burning, stuff for reuse. So these ones have got some relatively square faces and are probably oak or chestnut, harder wood, less woodworm. And up above, you can see the beam along the bottom of the picture is the front to back beam, which will form the edge of the first mezzanine. And up the top there, you can see the second mezzanine, the upper mezzanine, which is still intact. It's still got all of its logs going crisscross this way and hay above it. So we need to take down those logs and the hay before we start doing work in the barn, because when you do the floor in the barn, concrete floor, the last thing you ought to do is to be dropping those great big logs onto your freshly created concrete floor. So that's where we are at the moment. This long one, as I say, 5 meters long. At this end, you're probably about 35 centimeters by 35 centimeters. At the other end, maybe 25 by 25. So it's a good size log. I mentioned that we took all of the logs and stuff that we were going to reuse and put them in the colombage barn. So here's the side of the colombage barn, which on this side is mostly plank and corrugated iron door. And inside is a large boat. It's a blow-up boat, which the kids used to use. We had a lot of fun. We're going to pass that on to the neighbours now, along with the bike. But up on the end wall, you've got a lot of wood. So the wood on the left here is stuff which has been woodwormed, degraded. That's going to be cut up and used as firewood. The wood on the right, less degraded, probably oak or chestnut, some of it planked. So there's some good flat sides to it. That can be reused. We'll probably reuse this stuff on the ground too once I've taken the nails out of it. And this is all stuff which would be great for making the faux colombage. When I say faux colombage, if you look at that panel there, you've got these sticks which are in the middle of it. If you imagine all of the dirt, all the toshi taken out, and all of those sticks taken out, we'll put in some of these pieces down here, maybe 2, maybe 3 of them, and then infill the panels with a thin concrete block, which will be recessed from the surface by about 30 millimeters, and then a skim of lime plaster will be put on the outside, so that from the outside it will appear like general all-purpose colombage that you see around the countryside, but it will have a greater structural integrity and hopefully a greater life. With that thin concrete block and the show on the outside, on the inside we can then have a layer of insulation And once the concrete floor is in here, we can build a fresh concrete block wall or a plasterboard wall on the inside, so that the insulation will act as the barrier between the outside cool wall and the inside warm wall. So that's going to be, that's a future project. And it also doesn't help that we haven't decided for sure what this building is going to be. I mean, you can see that it's got a lovely little mezzanine up there. And in the distance there is the end wall, which I was saying would be nice to put a window in up at the top level, because when you come outside and look across that way, beyond those trees is the valley, and maybe from upstairs you might be able to see across the valley. We'll see. There we go.